updated my iPhone. There's a lot of new options. Long story short, it seems like there's a robber spirit from my childhood that I'm trying to inflect upon and get rid of it, because I can't just like shove these spirits away. I have to struggle so my wisdom or chakma, because again, the original word has more to do with master craftsmanship, to be a master crafter. So it's been tricky because the spirit was so good, he'd kind of rob me of the knowledge of his existence. And so the skills and gifts and intuitions I rely on were kind of stolen. The breath of that experience was kind of sucked out. And so it took me a long time to figure out it was there. But that's part of the process, right? So what's happened recently? Oh, excuse me. I was at my brother's house, and my buddy's aunt had some health issues, and he said, hey, can you go over there and pray for her? And I said, I gave you the gifts, like, you can do it too. And he's like, oh yeah, I keep forgetting. And even his wife said, like, I haven't acknowledged that I have them. And I'm like, but you still have them. And I get it. It's a lot. It's a lot to step into, right? You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And also, he can pray, but he hasn't seen me pray, so he doesn't quite know if he's doing it right, even though there's not really a wrong way to pray. So she came over a day early, which was cool. And so I prayed for her, and I think it took like 20 minutes. She was really willing, which was great. I think she was Catholic, and Catholics are usually pretty willing. They're pretty steadfast. And so I prayed for her and prayed for her and prayed for her, and just all this pain in her life went down to zero. And then I think it was her boyfriend was there. I was like, hey man, he was a very heavy set man. And I was like, this guy has to have some issues. When you're heavy set, you're going to get some issues. So I prayed for him, and he had lung scarring from when he worked at a plant, and something like erupted, and he got a breath of like some sort of gas he wasn't supposed to get that burnt his lungs. And so we prayed, and he was like, yeah, I feel this pressure in the center of my chest. And I'm like, okay, so the Holy Spirit is like working something out of you, like something that is deathly. Like, I don't want to say it's a spirit of death, but like, if we're considering something from a new supernatural aspect, it is deathly. And so we're working out this like deathly concoction of troubles that happened because he inhaled this bad air. So we prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed. And my friend Alex, who I work with in ministry, said, he's like, wow, I didn't think about this. I didn't think about that. I didn't think just to keep praying. And I said, yeah, I have to respect my limits. You see, the apostles got their gifts from Jesus, who had unlimited power. So their gifts were like super duper. I got my gift from a pastor, so mine is growing. So that was good. That was really good. And then a friend of mine got hurt in a car accident, and I picked her up to take her home. And she said, like, right now I'm at like an 8 out of 10. And so I prayed for her. And by the time we got her home, she was at like a 0.5 out of 10. So that was really good. And I gave her the gift of discernment and knowledge because I want her to work with us later. She has high potential. She's studying to be a nurse. She gets A's. She wants to work with babies, so that's really cool. And she was very forward. She was like, if I can travel around the world healing, like, I am there. So yeah, that's kind of all the updates. I'm going to make some podcast episodes today and try and work on my books a bit. It's difficult being me because most people just kind of like rebuke the spirits, but I have to learn to rebuke them in a way that is comfortable, right? Because I don't want to be one of those people that's just like, I rebuke you. It's like, I try to be more calm and gentle. But yeah, I need to do an episode on Future Wife, just so we can see at the end of this, like, was I able to properly predict and, using my gift of knowledge, like, anticipate what's happening on her end using my gifts and education, or am I just like a complete kind of fraud in that manner? Like, and I'm not trying to be a fraud, right? I'm not trying to like pitch a story. I'm trying to follow my gifts and show the world like an accounting of what happened. For example, one of my favorite books is Rebel Without a Crew. It's by director Robert Rodriguez. And what's great about this journal he writes is it takes place before he was someone famous. It takes place before he was a director, when he was trying to direct his very first film. And so it was really, really interesting because, like, we get to go forward and see while he still doesn't know he's going to be successful. So this is that same kind of idea. We're going to see, you get to see what I'm like before I'm super successful. And, you know, if this turns out to be like a major moment where we show how awesome Jesus is, especially in love and romance, you know, super duper, or we find out that I'm too cocky and I need to be humbled. And see, I don't want to be a Jesus fanboy. I don't like that attitude. I don't like that spiritual attitude. I think it's kind of spiritual ambivalent. Like, it's just like, oh, like, no. I know, you know, the people that come to me, don't you want to know Jesus? Like, stop, pump the brakes. Like, I know Jesus. I'm tight with Jesus. Like, we be good. But we can always know more. No, like, no, relax. Or the other one, Jesus doesn't really do miracles anymore. Really? Because I be doing a lot of miracles every day. Yeah, so I need to do a Future Wife episode, and I need to do some Proverbs stuff, and I think that's kind of it. Okie dokie.